Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here with my full game 100% gem walkthrough for Crash Bandicoot 2 as part of the N.Sane Trilogy. I'll be showing you how to grab all 42 of the gems in the game in the order in which it makes the most sense based on how they are arranged. There are time links in the YouTube description if you're looking for a specific level or if you're not really sure what level you should be trying to do next, as we don't always do all of the levels in order. Now I'll be showing you how to grab all 42 of the gems, which will also get you the 100% ending, and we will get the majority of achievements or trophies out of the way. The only thing we won't get during this playthrough is the relics, which are for speedrunning the levels. However, you can't really get any of the relics until after you beat the game, because upon beating the game, you unlock running shoes, which allow you to run faster, which allow you to actually complete the speedruns in a reasonable amount of time. And without the running shoes, you more or less will not be able to get any of the relics. Now, a couple of new controls that are available in Crash Bandicoot is the availability of the slide, which allows you to slide, but jumping at the end of a slide also allows you to jump higher and further than usual. So you're going to be using that quite a bit. Now, the first level you'll see is Turtle Woods, and for a lot of the levels, we kind of do them twice. In the example of Turtle Woods, the first time you're going to want to get through it without touching a single crate or box, and at the very end of the level, you should attain the special colored gem. This one is going to be the blue one. Upon grabbing the blue gem, you can either choose to complete the level, or you can choose to kind of just fall in a pit and kind of restart the level from the very beginning automatically. Similar to the first Crash Bandicoot, we'll be getting gems by getting all of the boxes in a level. However, a lot of the levels in the second game do have a secondary gem we can grab by either doing a special timer, a special kind of timed section, or by doing a death route, or by finding a secret exit to a level. So those are all kind of things I'll explain as they come up. They sound a lot more complicated than they actually are. So just complete Turtle Woods and make sure you grab both the normal gem for the boxes and grab the blue gem for completing the level without needing any of the boxes. You will need to obviously make sure to do all of the kind of bonus areas. So for example, on this level, we'll have to slam. So if you jump and then press the slide button, you'll do a slam down. You'll need slam downs for certain enemy types as well as kind of certain box types. There will be metal boxes later on in the game. So, you know, all of this is within the realm of stuff to do in Crash Bandicoot 2. So we'll go through Turtle Woods and then kind of continue through the game. Next up, we have the level Snow Go, which has a clear gem available to us. There's also a red gem, but we can't get the red gem until later on in the game. So all we'll be doing in this play is getting all of the boxes and then completing the level. This level, overall is pretty straightforward. You'll be introduced into the new mechanics of how ice works. I'd recommend sliding on ice as it's the easiest and best way to kind of change direction and get where you want to go. Obviously, you'll have to set off TNT, and you'll also see the nitro boxes, which you do not want to touch. Touching a nitro box will cause it to explode and kill you, but the nitro boxes are required for you to get all of the boxes in a level, which is obviously required for the gem. So what happens in this game is at the very end of the level, usually, there is a metal crate with a exclamation point on it, and spinning and hitting that crate will cause all of the nitro on the level to explode. So that's something we're going to basically have to do for every single level, is make sure that we get the metal nitro box at the end of the level. The next level we'll be doing is called Hang 8. It has 2 clear gems available to us, and we can basically grab both of them on separate playthroughs of the level within our first time of kind of trying the level. We don't need to come back. So the first one I'm going to show you is the one for beating the clock. What you need to do is you'll reach a certain section where you hop on the hoverboard, and a timer will appear in the bottom right-hand corner of the kind of map there. And what you'll need to do is you'll need to get to the very end of the level before this timer reaches 0. If you do so, there should be a gem waiting for you, and then you can grab it and kind of beat the level and restart the level in order to do a full box clear of the level, allowing us to grab the other gem. Now, on our second play of Hang 8, we will be grabbing all of the boxes in order to get the other clear gem. We will need the blue gem from the first level in order to have access to all of the available areas in the level. You can obviously use as many checkpoints as you need. Just make sure you don't miss any boxes. And none of these areas or boxes are particularly hard or, you know, tricky in any way. So you should be able to kind of get through the level at your own pace and, you know, grab extra lives and grab all the boxes you can. Make sure you get to the end. And a gem will be waiting for you if you get everything. Now, just to point something out here, metal boxes with exclamation points still often do what they did in the first game, which is that they just spawn kind of new boxes that had a clear kind of outline to them. So in the case of this level, at the end, we will need to click that box, go back and grab all of the boxes it spawned, and then we can continue forward. And at the end, we'll also see the nitro one, which has a kind of hint of green to it, but it can be quite difficult to actually see that green depending on your kind of screen setup. Nonetheless, yeah, that's how you do this level, getting all the boxes and getting the clear gem at the end for doing so. Next up, we're doing the pits. The pits has one clear gem available in it for grabbing all of the boxes, which is what we'll be doing. Again, another pretty straightforward level. Feel free to use as many checkpoints as you need. The only thing that happens in this level is you'll have some new enemy types you'll need to worry about. Obviously, watch out for any TNT or nitro that you might end up, end up being problematic for you. About halfway through the level, though, the level does have a fork in the road, so you'll see that coming up right here. And what we're going to do for the fork in the road is make sure we go left first, then we'll backtrack and go right. So again, as I said earlier, in the fork in the road, we went left, we grabbed the crystal, and now at this point we can backtrack. So you'll see me doing that right now, and I'll grab these 3 boxes. I should be at 18. And we're going to backtrack all the way back to the fork in the road and then take the other direction. And that should allow us to get all the boxes in the level in kind of one play, obviously. Which we'll need to do, obviously, in one play. You can't grab the boxes between separate playthroughs and stuff. Next, we have Crash Dash, which has 1 clear gem available for collecting all of the boxes. This level should feel very familiar to you if you've played Crash Bandicoot 1. It is a run forward and, a rock chases you type level. Most of the boxes here are pretty obvious. Just make sure you watch out for mines and stuff like that. You might need to slide occasionally. You can use as many checkpoints as you need. Just make sure you are grabbing all of the boxes. And there will be a bonus level, which you'll need to obviously go into, grab all the bonus boxes, detonate any nitro at the end, and you should be on your way to a clear gem for this level as well. Next up, we are doing Air Crash. This will be the first level in which we do a secret exit. We'll also get an achievement or trophy for every secret exit we do. So for this level, what I'm going to do is you can kind of do things out of order, or you can separate what I'm doing into multiple runs. Whatever makes you kind of more comfortable. If you're having trouble surviving long enough through the level to want to backtrack and stuff, feel free to just complete the level. But you'll want to grab the checkpoint right before the hoverboard, then grab the hoverboard and make your way through the level, but skip the next checkpoint so that we can actually backtrack a little bit more easily. So you'll see that I make my way and park the hoverboard here, and there's a checkpoint in front of me, but I'm going to skip it. And instead, I'm going to grab the crystal in front of me, and then I'm going to die on purpose in order to backtrack to the beginning of the level without having to complete the level and restart it and stuff. So this will bring me back to the checkpoint that I triggered and wanted to trigger. And at this point, we can now do the secret exit. So what we want to do is we want to avoid the hover cart, do a sliding jump onto the boxes, and land on this platform right here. This is a secret exit, and again, it will unlock an achievement or trophy and bring you to a secret level on the bottom floor. This one is for Snow Go, which is the level we'll do next in order to grab the red gem. Taking the secret warp exit to this level allows us to spawn into this kind of new area. You'll just have to clear the area. There's a lot of ice, so make sure you use your slides and any of the masks you need in order to get through. At the very end, there will be a hole you'll jump in, and that will make you automatically collect the red gem. Then you can complete the level in order for it to be added to the wall. Feel free to grab the boxes if you want them. However, you don't need them if you don't want them. I'm going back here to grab the mask as I wanted it just in case I made a mistake and got hit by an enemy. I didn't want to have to restart. So, yep, just go through this area. Once you have the red gem, or once you do the secret exit, you'll grab the red gem, finish the level, and we can move on.
What have we got?
Next up is the level Snow Biz. In this level, we will be required to have the red gem from previous levels in order to complete it. We'll be grabbing the one available clear gem in the level, which is for getting all of the available boxes. Now, again, this level's not too bad. You get to use as many checkpoints as you need. It will take a little bit of practice, obviously, and you will need to make sure to get into every area you possibly can. Make sure you grab the bonus level, obviously, and the red gem path. And once you kind of make your way through the level and everything, there's no crazy tricks here. You'll make your way through the level, and you should be good to go. Next up, we will do the level called Barrett. In this level, there is a clear gem available to us. This is a level which we will ride a bear through, so if you do miss a box at any point, you definitely want to revert to the last checkpoint. There are a couple of tricky jumps, but nothing too crazy. This should kind of get you used to the controls of the bear levels. You can speed boost and you can jump, obviously, as your main things. Sliding on ice is probably the hardest kind of part of this, but at the end, you should be able to kind of grab the nitro box and grab your gem as well. The next level we'll be doing is Crash Crush. This level is another level in which you are constantly running away from a rolling ball. This one is another somewhat straightforward one. There is one small section where you will have to backtrack, but it's pretty obvious. There will be a fork in the road that kind of goes behind you, so make sure you do that. There is also a bonus level, so make sure you grab that. You grab the nitro at the end. Nothing crazy going on here quite yet. But definitely not like the easiest level in the game. Alright, so next up we have the Eel Deal. This one has 2 gems available to us. We can grab both of them on our first go. And first off, we're going to go for the green colored gem. And then we can also grab the clear gem for grabbing all of the boxes. This one is a little bit tricky. It does have a couple of hard sections, but it also has a couple of kind of tricky little secrets about it. So for this, you want to kind of go through the level, obviously avoiding any obstacles, making sure you stay alive, grabbing all of the obvious boxes and obvious checkpoints along the way, making sure you leave behind all the nitro and stuff as well. Now, at a certain point, right around here, you will reach a section with a split in the road, and you will need to go to the right-hand side. Watch out for the nitro boxes, and this is where the secret is. You actually have to get to the back of this area, and you can jump through the kind of sewer vault door and make your way to the very end of this section in order to find the green gem. Now, once you grab the green gem, you actually have to backtrack all the way to where you came from without dying in order to trigger the next checkpoint so you can continue the level and have the green gem count. So make sure you do that. After you backtrack, just make sure you follow the normal path, you know, grab all the obvious boxes. You'll have to do a bonus level, and you should be on your way to all 79 in the level. So after grabbing all of the regular purple crystals on this floor, you should open up the Komodo brothers boss battle. The boss battles in Crash 2 overall are extremely easy. For this one, all you have to dodge, all you have to do is dodge the first kind of brother who spins around, and he'll, like, you know, try to spin into you, but he's very easy to dodge. Then the middle brother will throw some knives you'll have to dodge. And that's all you really do, and you have to spin him back into his own brother in order to damage them, and do that 3 times and you're done. So the first level on the third floor is called Plant Food. We can grab both gems on separate playthroughs. We'll go for the yellow gem first. In order to grab the yellow gem, you will need to continue through the level until you reach a hoverboard section. Once you reach that section, you should see a small timer appear in the bottom right corner, and you have to get to the end of the level before that timer runs out without dying. If you reach the kind of end room, you should be able to grab the gem, no problem, and then we can restart the level in order to grab all of the boxes and grab the clear gem on our second play. Again, this is our second play of Plant Food. We are now going for all of the boxes. Nothing crazy here. Most of them are somewhat obvious. Make sure you kind of get all the hoverboard ones especially. Feel free to use the checkpoints as much as you need them. Revert to checkpoints if you see yourself in some sort of a problem. And you are good to go. This next upcoming section is kind of the only little tricky part. You want to grab the checkpoint and do not go on the board until after you destroy all of the plants and all of the boxes out on these little islands. Once you get on the board, you have no other option other than to kind of finish the level. If you do accidentally get on the board though, that's not a problem. Just allow the plants to get you until you respawn back at the checkpoint, and then you can easily do exactly as I'm doing and finish off the level. The next level we're going to be doing is called Sewer or Later. It has 2 clear gems available and does require us to have the yellow gem from the previous level in order to get both of the gems. So what we're going to do is go through the level and, just play it as you would normally play it. And you will reach a yellow gem platform. Grab that platform, ride it down, and complete that section to grab the clear gem at the end. After grabbing the clear gem from doing the yellow gem path, you can just jump into the water and, you know, lose your life in order to kind of go back to this checkpoint that we're triggering right here. Again, so after we got the gem from the yellow path, we can now proceed through the rest of the level, making sure to grab all of the boxes. Now, there are a couple of little tricky sections here and there. One of the things you'll notice is that there are fans that spin extremely quickly. In order to get through those fans, you will need to destroy them by spinning enemies into them. Another thing you see is that I'm using Coco. If you want to grab a quick achievement or trophy, you can leg smash 5 people with Coco in order to grab an achievement or trophy. So to do that, you would jump and then slam down. Kill 5 enemies with that slam in order to grab, you know, that achievement or trophy like I was saying earlier. So you'll grab the bonus section. There will be a split in the road. During the split in the road, you will need to go left in order to grab the purple crystal, just to be able to kind of complete the part of this level and then be able to do the bosses and whatnot later. So you'll grab the purple crystal on the left route, then you'll come back to the right and trigger the nitro box, and you should be on your way to, you know, completing this level with all of the boxes and getting both of the clear gems in one run. Next up, we have the level Bear Down. It has one clear gem available to us, which we will be grabbing, but we'll also be doing the secret exit at the end of the level. So you'll ride the bear through the level, make sure you grab all of the boxes. If you do miss a box at any point, feel free to dunk yourself in the water to respawn at the nearest checkpoint, which is actually something I will be doing pretty soon. So if you miss anything, just restart that checkpoint and get through the level, grabbing everything. At the end of the level, grab the clear gem, and then I will show you how to do the secret exit to the level. So after grabbing the clear gem, go back outside, and then you'll be able to jump on these platforms and kind of jump, into the closest edge of the screen, and that'll teleport you to the secret exit for this level, allowing you to go into the air crash variant. Since we've now unlocked air crash on the very bottom floor, we can go ahead and just do it now. It's going to have 2 clear gems available inside of it. And it also have our first death route, or death route, whatever you want to call it. Now, in order to grab everything kind of in one play here, going through the secret warp exit, we'll want to make sure in the first area to grab all of the boxes along the way and trigger the nitro box at the end of this section. This section is only available to us if we entered through the exit that we just entered through, and we should be at 47 out of 102 before going back to the main level, which should look familiar now. Now, during this section, we'll want to just play through as normal. Make sure to grab all of the boxes. Make sure to grab all of the checkpoints. We will have a bonus section, and we will have the death route coming up. So I'll talk a little bit during those. So just after completing the bonus area, we will be able to complete our first death route. I'm actually going to skip some of these boxes. That's completely fine. We're going to end up coming back to the checkpoint anyways. So here you'll see the platform on my left. I'm going to ride that platform. The first time I take it, I will unlock an achievement or trophy. And now what I'll need to do is I will need to get to the very end of the death route in order to grab a clear gem that should be waiting for me at the very end. The death routes are obviously supposed to be like small little challenging areas of the game that reward you with a gem for being good enough to beat them. So in this case, that's what we're going to grab. And then as soon as we do grab the clear gem at the end here, you'll see me grab it. Obviously grabbing any boxes along the way, although I don't believe there are any boxes in this area specifically. Upon reaching the end, we will grab that clear gem like I said previously. And instead of finishing the level, we're actually going to go back and jump in the water in order to go to the checkpoint that's right before the death route. Upon respawning at this checkpoint, we should now be able to complete the level, grab all the boxes along the way, spawning the clear gem for all the boxes at the end, and allowing us to complete the level with everything.
What have we got?
Next up, we do Road to Ruin. For this level, all we want to do is get through the level as quickly as possible in order to grab the purple crystal. We can't grab any gems until later.
What have we got?
Next up, we're doing Unbearable. There is one clear gem, which we will be grabbing. There is additionally a secret exit, which we'll be doing as well. So, the level itself is pretty easy on its own, but there are definitely some tricks you'll need to know and perform in order to grab everything. So, just escape the bear as much as possible. Try to memorize everything you can and have quick reaction times, making sure to grab all of the obvious boxes. And the first kind of trick will come up pretty soon into the level as you cross a wooden bridge, which we are coming up on pretty soon here. After you cross the wooden bridge, the bear will come behind you and destroy it. And instead of continuing forward, you'll actually want to jump into the hole created by the bear when the bridge went down. That will allow us to find a secret bonus area, which we will need to complete in order to grab all the boxes, which we obviously need for the gem.
What have we got? What have we got?
Now, assuming that you've triggered the same nitro boxes as me, you should be at 29 out of 58. You could be at a different value, though, depending on how many of the nitro boxes you triggered, obviously. And there's also a bonus level shortly after the kind of secret area, and we'll want to grab everything in there, too, before proceeding to the end of the level and completing it. Now, upon reaching the end of the level with all of the boxes, you will get the clear gem, but remember, we do have a secret exit to do, and to do that, we will run backwards and through the door. We will do a slide jump to get across this large gap, and we will be able to find the bear hanging out right here, and we will want to interact with him in order to get the secret exit, which will bring us to the bottom floor and now allow us to access the secret warp to the level Totally Bear. Totally Bear is a bear riding level that lasts roughly 2 minutes. There are a couple of like tricky little timing windows and tricky jumps and stuff. Nothing's hidden or secret. However, you may need to, retry a certain checkpoint a couple of times to make sure you grab all of the boxes before finishing the level and grabbing the clear gem at the end. There are also a lot of really wide gaps, which you will need to make sure to do a sprint jump across. Otherwise, yeah, just continue through the level, make sure you grab everything, and you're good to go. We should now be able to grab the boss battle called Tiny Tiger. This one isn't too bad. All you'll be doing is jumping around platforms. The boss will always be one step behind you, and the goal is to try to have the boss land on the red platforms or land in the space where there are no platforms for him to fall. You want to do this a total of 3 times to waste his life bar. Remember, he can jump diagonally, so if you're a little too quick on some of the jumps, he'll jump diagonally to you instead of following your path exactly. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Just keep jumping around and have him fall in the map, and you're good to go. On the next floor up, we can do the level Hanging Out. We will grab the clear gem for collecting all 93 of the boxes. Also, at the end of the level, we will do the secret exit in order to, grab the achievement for doing the secret exits, but also making sure to grab all of the secret warp levels that are at the bottom of the elevator. So this one isn't like crazy difficult or anything. You'll be making your way through the level, making sure to follow along, grabbing all of the boxes in the right order. For example, here you obviously want to grab the boxes before jumping down the hole, making sure to use the checkpoint system in a favorable way whenever you need it, and going through the level and, finding all the little cute areas that they kind of hit around and stuff. And once you reach the end of the level, you'll grab all 93 of the boxes. You will grab the clear gem at the end, and I'll join you back to explain the secret exit. So at this checkpoint, you actually notice that there's a purple crystal. I'll come back to it later, but you do need to trigger that checkpoint as we will be using it later also. So there's also the bonus level, so make sure you grab all 35 of the crates here. You will need to make sure to jump on the very top in order to kind of smash your way through the metal boxes. You know, obviously avoid all the nitro boxes. We'll grab them later through kind of natural progression. And yeah, grab as many of the boxes as you can here. The nitro should be set off by the TNT. And once you finish the bonus level, you can continue to the end of the level to grab the clear gem, and then we'll die and go to the checkpoint that we triggered right before this bonus level. Again, at the end of the level, you'll grab the gem for having all 93 of the boxes, and then we'll run back and jump into the water to go back to the checkpoint we had triggered earlier. Once you respawn at that checkpoint, just grab the crystal that I forgot about earlier, and you're going to want to kind of go into the screen, jump down the hole, get to the very end of this section, and you will get the secret warp for the next level. Alright, once we have the secret warp for Totally Fly, we're going to do that level. There's one gem. We will grab it by getting all of the boxes. This level is pretty straightforward. There's one little kind of tricky section at the very end where it could be very hard for you to see, kind of depending on a couple of things. But just run through the level, make sure you grab the obvious boxes, make sure you use the checkpoints you need, and I'll explain exactly what went wrong a little bit for me at the end. So the only small mistake I made was right here. You should try to avoid this firefly if possible, and then grab all the metal boxes and come back for the firefly. However, if you accidentally grab it, it's not too problematic. You will need to make sure to smash all of the metal boxes. The faster you do it, the better. But then you'll actually have to, if you grab the firefly like me, have to platform through a little bit of a dark section. It's about 2 or 3 jumps. Depending on how bright your monitor is and whatnot, you should be able to do them pretty easily. And then you can just finish off the level. All right, next up is the level Diggin It. And this level has a lot going on for it. It has 2 clear gems, it has a death route, and it also has a secret exit at the end. And we're going to be grabbing all of those in kind of one play, which takes us almost 6 or 7 minutes. You can keep in mind that instead of doing them all at once, you can try to kind of do them separately. For some players, it might be easier that way. Also, it should be noted that for death routes, you do have to get to the location of the death route without dying. So although there are some checkpoints, you will have to make sure you can get through the level in kind of one go. There will be a decent amount of backtracking as well. So if you're really struggling with some of the backtracking stuff, you can kind of split this up into 2 or 3 different runs. This right here is the point that you want to reach and grab this box that I'm spinning at right now before backtracking all the way back to the death route if you're trying to do everything in one play. The hardest part of backtracking is for sure the bees, which will be spawning and trying to kill you. If you do die to a bee for the first time, you will get a specific achievement though. Now, if you do reach the death route and the platform is available, you should be able to die and it should stay there, I believe. The only thing you want to keep in mind is that if you do die during the death route, you can retry it. However, it'll spawn you at a checkpoint where you will need to redo certain things. So you want to definitely make sure that if you do die and you do use the checkpoint system, that you make sure to grab any boxes that you might have lost because of your death. So getting through the death route, at the very end of the death route, we will have a gem for completing it, and we will also then be able to kind of join up with the path we were on. Once we do join up with the path we were on, we have to do a small bit of backtracking just to grab a couple of boxes, and then we will be on our way to the end of the level where we'll get the clear gem for getting all of the boxes in the level. And instead of going through the normal exit, we will be leaving through the secret exit in order to make sure to grab everything available in this level at once. Now, I'm going to quickly go ahead and trigger this checkpoint right here, but ignore the amount of boxes I have at the top of the screen, which is 63. I made a small mistake in, like, kind of the way I did this, but everything in the video is shown 100% correct. Just ignore the top number. You should be able to backtrack to grab the 3 boxes right there, and then upon reaching the checkpoint, you should have a total of 75 out of 95. If you do have the 66 that I showed on screen, that means that you died during the death route, and when you went back to your checkpoint, you didn't go back to make sure that you grabbed all the boxes. But yeah, nonetheless, complete the level, get to the end, and grab the clear gem for all the boxes, and then the secret exit. For the secret exit, you can notice that we've backtracked quite a bit from the exit, and what we need to do is bounce and then slam onto this flower right here. And that's it. We'll now unlock the secret warp on the bottom floor for the level Road to Ruin, which before we weren't able to complete, and an achievement or trophy should unlock when we do it for the first time. So now we can actually complete Road to Ruin, jump inside. You'll start in this section where you can grab a couple of these boxes. Watch out, there is some TNT in this group, so make sure you grab all of those. There's a total of 32 boxes right here at the beginning. And make your way through the level, obviously avoiding nitro boxes, grabbing TNT and regular boxes. There is a death route coming up, which we will need to do. At the end of that death route, there is a clear gem for us to pick up. After the death route, though, I am going to jump into a hole on purpose to respawn at a checkpoint earlier on, and then we can continue through the level. There is also a bonus area, or like a secret area, that we will be grabbing, and if you do all of this stuff, you should be able to grab all of the boxes, and then obviously both of the gems for completing the level and whatnot. So just make sure you are also at 50 when you do reach this platform right here. Next, we have Cold Hard Crash, which is easily the hardest level in the entire game in order to grab everything we can. So in this level, what we'll need to do is grab 2 clear gems as well as do a death route. But based on how everything is laid out in this level, we'll basically have to do the death route 3 different times. And there's also quite a bit of kind of checkpoint manipulation going on. So in the first area, just grab the boxes and proceed through. This area is not all that important in order, there's nothing crazy happening in this area. All of the trickery and craziness kind of happens during the death route or death route. So I'll rejoin you back in commentary once we reach that area though. And one important note you do want to make though is that it is very important to try to keep your masks with you in order to have as many as possible with you during the trickier section. If you lose your masks, you're going to have a really tough time getting through the later parts of the level. So just make your way through here, grab the bonus level, and then at the death route, I'll rejoin you back. One incredibly important note to make is that you do not want to trigger the checkpoint next to the death route before hopping on. You need this checkpoint for later, or else it's even harder to do this because you'll need to do the death route like a full 3 or 4 times without a checkpoint. So we're actually going to save that checkpoint for later. What you want to do is make your way through the area, and you want to make sure you grab the mask if possible. You want to grab all 3 in order to have the kind of invincibility going on during a certain section of this area. If you don't, it's okay. It is just a little bit harder. You'll need to take it a little bit slower. What our goal is to do here is to get all the way to the end of the death route. We will need to trigger the box at the end, and then we will need to make our way back all the way to the beginning without, dying or without accidentally jumping through the hole at the end. So that's what I'm doing right now. I grabbed my invincibility. I'm getting all the way to the very end of the death route. I'm triggering the box and then going all the way back to the beginning. And then once I get back to the beginning, I will take the elevator out and I will trigger the checkpoint. The box that I just triggered, the metal one, does spawn something near the beginning of the death route. So make sure you grab that along the way. Alright, so we made our way all the way back to the beginning of the death route. We got the box that spawned because of the box we interact with at the end. I'm going to now ride the elevator back to grab the checkpoint and go back into the death route. This just gives me the certainty that if I do die, I don't lose too much progress. During the third time, the second time going normal way through the death route, we will actually be grabbing the gem at the very end. So make sure you grab the gem at the end and then proceed and follow the video. Another important note to make is that after I do grab the death route gem, I just jump off the map instead of proceeding through to the end of the level. This will allow me to spawn back at the checkpoint near the beginning of the death route and this will allow me to grab some additional boxes that I'll need before going through the end of the level. So make sure you grab all of these boxes, avoid all the enemies, obviously watch out for any kind of, you know, traps or explosives. And after completing this area, we should be able to then go to the very end of the level, complete the level, grabbing all of the boxes, and which is obviously necessary for us to get the clear gem at the end, which is for all of the boxes. So this seems really complicated. Once you kind of get the hang of it, it's not too bad. It is very difficult, though, and it is quite skill intensive. And like I said, there's quite a bit of checkpoint manipulation and stuff. But once you kind of reach this section, you're home free. Nothing from here is too hard. There are some secret boxes, though. There's, I believe, 4 of them right here you want to grab, though. Next, we can do Ruination. We can grab both of the gems, including a clear gem and another clear gem, but for one of them, we will be required to have the green colored gem in order to have the green platform spawn for us. So this one's, it's not too crazy. You'll go through the level. You'll make sure to ride the green platform. You'll make sure to do any of the bonus levels that show up. It is on the longer end, but it's nothing, crazy long. You can use the checkpoints you need in order to make your way through, and you should be able to get through, without too many issues, and grab everything along the way. It should be noted that after grabbing the gem for the green platform path, I do jump off the map on purpose in order to spawn back at the checkpoint where the platform begins. This allows me to get all of the boxes and all of the gems in one run instead of having to do a level multiple times. Another quick note I want to make is that right here we do need to interact with the box in the middle. However, I find this jump quite tricky. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to interact with the checkpoint, and then I'm going to jump back onto the box. I actually do miss my jump, so it's a good thing I grabbed that checkpoint. But you want to be able to grab the checkpoint first. In my opinion, this is the better strat. And then grab the box, and then you can make your way through the level, and you should be good to go, grabbing everything in one play. The next level we'll be going for is Behaving. It has a clear gem and a purple gem, and it also is the level in which you can farm to 99 lives the most easily. So we'll make our way through the level. We can dig into the ground, which is something we would have done earlier in this floor anyways. Watch out for the mallet guys. Watch out for any of the bees. And the bees are actually what we're going to use in order to grind to 99 lives if we want to. So you will reach this area coming up pretty soon here. And there will be a beehive on the right as well as a shocking fence. And what you can do is you can sit right here, and as a bee spawns, you can slide and then spin into the beehive to clear all the enemies. And it will give you a life every time you do this successfully. You can do this until you grab, 99 lives, and then you can proceed if you so desire. You can always come back to this level later and do that, or you can do it whenever you want. We will proceed through this area here and then jump over the nitro unsuccessfully if you're me, and then continue forward, grabbing this checkpoint, and then making our way to the, through the level to the purple gem. Now, in order to get the purple gem, what we'll need to do is a slide jump onto the nitro right here. There is a secret exit to a kind of secret area. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the purple gem, which is actually very close to the beginning of the area. You can go through the area and just complete it and get the exit on your way out if you want. However, I found it way easier to just jump off the map and then go back to the checkpoint. And once you do that, you can now proceed through the level as normal to the end where you would get your clear gem. Next up, we have the Dr. Engine boss battle. This one isn't too bad. I'm not exactly sure what the mechanics are, like 1000%. But essentially, you're going to be pressing the spin button to throw apples at the boss. Whenever he opens up his weapons, he will try to shoot you. If you hit them, you will do damage to him. Sometimes they will go off. You'll have to dodge them. Just keep tapping X and throwing apples at any part that's like yellow. And keep dodging whenever it seems like you have to dodge. He will eventually die quite easily. Next, we're going to do the level on the top floor called Piston It Away. This, in my opinion, is probably the second hardest level in the game, directly behind the cold hard crash level we did not too long ago. Now, for this level, what we want to do is there's quite a few things actually we can grab. So it does have 2 clear gems. One of those gems is going to be by doing a death route. So we'll go forward. You know, we can't die because if we die, the death route does disappear. And the death route does have to be completed all the way to the end. So there is some backtracking here to make sure we grab all the boxes and everything kind of in one playthrough. You can try to split this up into 2 different playthroughs, but it's probably going to be easiest for you to do exactly how I do it. So we're going to be making our way through. We'll see these kind of new crab enemies. If their legs are up, you can slide into them or spin into them. If their legs are down, you can jump into them to use them as platforms. Now, you know, the beginning of this level really isn't too bad. All of this should be decently easy. Watch out that you don't accidentally destroy the nitro here and die. Make sure you're trying to collect masks and save them for areas that are difficult for you. So we will continue through, and eventually we'll reach this checkpoint here. We'll grab the purple crystal, and this is where it starts to get really tricky, in my opinion. Now, you should notice the death route behind us right here. However, we're going to skip it and have to backtrack all the way back here. The enemy directly under me, make sure you leave him. We will require him to get back to where we're going. You'll notice these new platforms that also shoot bullets at you. Feel free to melee the bullets away from yourself if you want, or just try to outrun them completely. We're also going to skip the bonus area as we'll return to it later. What we're going to try to do is we're going to try to get all the way to the end of this section And we're going to try to make sure to grab a box that we need at the end of these platforms. And then we'll start our backtrack. So right around here, this box right here we'll need to grab, and we'll be at 22 out of 69, assuming we haven't triggered any nitro boxes. And we can now begin our backtrack all the way back to the bonus level. Once we do the bonus level, we'll have to backtrack all the way to the death route. This right here is easily one of the hardest parts. You will need to make sure to melee away the shots, or you have a mask in order to get through. For the bonus level, there is a trick. If you have an extra mask to burn away, you don't have to worry about the trick, but I would recommend trying to do the trick. For the trick, what you have to do is make sure you do a long jump here to get onto the next platform. You will need to interact with a metal box in order to have some boxes spawn near the beginning. And then for this jump, you have to do it all in one motion from that box over the nitro. You do want to keep your mask, although honestly, it's not really that necessary. We're only going to have to do one more complicated thing. And if our mask gets in the way, we have to basically restart the level anyways. So all of this has to be done in one play up to this section. If you do die or you do something wrong, you will have to actually restart the entire level. So finish off the bonus level, and once we reach the top, we will now have to backtrack to the left in order to get all the way back to the death route. There is one very specific tricky jump we'll need to do. You only get one try for this jump. If you fail the jump, you have to restart everything. So go down right here where you'll see this kind of crab guy, and we will need to use him to jump over the gun. If we miss our jump, he dies, and then we can't jump over the gun. So if done correctly, it will look like this. Again, you have one try to do that, unfortunately, and now we can ride the death route. The death route, once you actually trigger it, it's not really hard. You get a checkpoint pretty early on as well, I believe. And you can basically complete the death route, get the clear gem at the end, and finish off the level all in one kind of motion very easily, very quickly. Having an extra mask here is sometimes helpful if you find yourself in a sticky situation. Next, we have the level called Rocket. It has one clear gem for us to grab for grabbing all of the boxes. This is the first type of level where you use a jetpack. There are two jetpack levels as well as a boss jetpack level. The jetpack controls are very poor. They were not designed to be played on a controller in the year 2017 or 2018. What you're going to be doing is going forward with the right trigger, backwards with the left trigger, and then steering with your left stick. Make sure to grab all the boxes. There's nothing hard or anything about this level. The only thing is the controls take some getting used to. All right, we are nearing the end of the game. Next up, we have Night Fight. For this one, we have 2 clear gems. One is for the death route, and one is obviously for grabbing all of the boxes. Just follow the route shown in the video. The level is decently easy in my opinion, and quite short as well. So you shouldn't have too many problems, and you should be able to use the checkpoints as much as you need, as long as you do reach the death route on your first life. It should also be noted that this death where I jump into the hole is done on purpose in order to get me back to a checkpoint before the death route. Okay, next up we have Pack Attack. This is another jetpack level with 1 gem for grabbing all of the boxes. It's super straightforward. You don't really need my help here. There's like one kind of box that's a little bit hidden behind a pipe, which I'll be showing, obviously. So you'll get through the level, grab all the boxes at the end, make sure to grab the nitro box. Your clear gem is awarded for all 45 boxes. Alright, last but not least, we have the final level of the game. This one's called Spaced Out. We'll be doing 2 separate playthroughs, one for each gem. So the first playthrough I'll show you is how to grab all of the boxes on the level. The level is actually not that difficult. You can use the checkpoint system as many times as you want or need. So feel free to just take your time through the level and grab all the boxes and finish the level, and then grab the gem and restart the level in order to do the other gem, which I'll explain in a little bit here. Now we are restarting the level spaced out and grabbing the final gem. In order to grab this gem, it does require you to have all of the available colored gems in the game. If you are missing a gem, you will not be able to complete this gem route. So right here, we'll hop on the blue path, and we will need to complete all of the sections of this level in one go. And at the end of this path, you will find a gem. There are no checkpoints, and I do believe, in my opinion, that the first area is the hardest. I believe it gets easier as you go. So you'll see that we are going to have to ride a platform of every color, which is why you need all of the gems to complete this part of the level. There are some tricky sections here. For example, you will need to kind of know what you want to do ahead of time to make sure that you can get through them. But again, in my opinion, the first section of this is by far the hardest. Alright, so we've collected all 42 of the gems in the game. You'll unlock the achievement or trophy for collecting all 42 gems, obviously, in Crash Bandicoot 2. And last but not least, we can do the final boss battle against Neo Cortex, which is, in my opinion, very disappointing. It's not a very fun boss battle, and it's not very challenging at all. All you have to do is kind of fly behind him whenever you get in range. Make sure you do a spin move. Try your best to avoid obstacles when possible, although none of them are particularly hard. After defeating him, you will get the normal ending, and then after the normal ending, I will show the 100% ending to end off the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for your time. If the video was helpful, feel free to leave a like on the video or recommend it to a friend. Subscribe for more content similar to this in the future for all types of new releases. Special thanks to the amazing people on Patreon who do support the show and make videos like this possible. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you guys next time. Peace.
You haven't seen the last of me, Crash Bandicoot.
Crash, what do you suppose happened to Cortex? And what about the Cortex Vortex? It's still up there.
You have acquired all of the gems. Incredible. Crystals are not the only means of harnessing planetary energy. The gems have that ability as well. And with them, I can destroy the Cortex Vortex forever. Let me warp you to my completed laser installation. are ready, Crash. Would you like to do the honors?